morning.
Morning, Susan. How are you?
I'm a little tired this morning. It's been a busy couple of days.
It really has been.
So have you enjoyed the conference here, the SHARE conference in Kansas City?
I have learned a few things that I didn't know before I came here. Met some new people. So it's been a really good experience for me overall.
Yeah, same here. So what was the biggest thing you learned?
That there is actually hope for the mainframe. It is still a part of the modern ecosystem.
You didn't think that before?
Yeah.
Me either. So why are you thinking that there's hope now?
I saw a lot of new functionality coming out, a lot of new integrating with the distributed computer systems, with SaaS, with AI, with some ML. So some really good products coming out to start really bringing the mainframe into focus as part of that modern ecosystem.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was very interesting seeing the different generations here, and there most definitely was a generational thing. A few young people, not lots, I would say. But then the rest of the crowd was gender-wise very on this. Probably could have a few more women there, but much better than the conferences we go to.
Most definitely. And I would love for the attendees here at SHARE to reach out to Tech Aunties Podcast and tell us why haven't stayed in mainframe and in tech, because obviously it's not the same burnout level as it's in distributed computing.
Yeah, for sure. But I kind of got to wonder, we talked about the movie Hidden Figures before.
Right.
Gotta wonder, are people women having the same issues that we've always had too, but they just stayed for some reason because maybe they thought we were worse. Maybe they think we're worse off on the distributed side.
Well, and they're very passionate about mainframe and educating that next generation. And so that was something different too.
No, for sure. They can all see that, well, you've got people, our parents' age that are still working.
Right.
On the mainframes. And then you've got people our age. And I mean, I can see retirement on the horizon. I'm not gonna lie. So we can see that. But there definitely were two different generations. And I think even just talking to people, I kind of got the feeling that the older generation, for the most part, are still being the gatekeepers of the data and the systems. And I kind of think the Gen Xers like us, we're like, come on, let's get some help in here. Let's train the kids and get them in here helping us before it's too late. So definitely that dynamic is playing out a lot more than it does on the open system side, because we see people just peace out and retire, go have a garden, a farm, a big hobby.
Yeah. And so the other thing I really was surprised about is just the number of vendors here.
Yeah.
We think about the mainframe sitting over in the corner, just chilling it along from another day and age, maybe from early in our career.
Yeah.
Think about it as really being still the backbone of business and the data stores that are in those mainframes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the new usage, even for the data, and from an AI ethics perspective, really a frontier because of the privacy, the consent, all those things that a lot of that data didn't even exist. We didn't have informed consent.
Yeah.
Some of that data.
Yeah, exactly.
That. Yeah.
You think about the medical stuff, especially, and the government stuff, especially. Yeah, I see that too. We saw the vendors even had a vendor present that was a startup. So you have startups with their target market being the mainframe audience, which kind of leads to a different type of question. I think one of the things that I guess I had thought about it, the mainframe isn't just sitting on a pile of data, which, for sure it's the data gravity. And that data is not 30, 40, 50 years old. That, some of it is, but they're continually adding to the data because all of these sensors send back their information to the mainframe to store the data today. So we're continually growing that information. So I guess, we think about some of the companies that are here and the companies we heard from yesterday, right now they're looking at ways, what are the better ways to provide analytics on the data and how the mainframe interacts with more modern, for lack of a better word, modern programs that are built on open systems in the cloud, x86 architecture.
Right.
They're trying right now just to get the telemetry, and how do we get the telemetry into tools that, are SaaS based, and trying to figure that out. But what happens, you've got to know that data is a valuable resource. It's probably why the older generation's so cranky about everything, right?
It is. It is, because data is cash now.
Right, exactly.
And if I had that data I just think about my own data. If it's stored somewhere on a mainframe from when I enrolled in college to now, you've got the whole trajectory of my buying history, everything about me. From a consumer perspective, a medical perspective, it's mind-blowing what could be in those mainframes.
Right. And that's actually what some of these companies are after. They're after, we want to be able to show the telemetry and show the progress of the applications going from the open system side over to the mainframe side. And we want you to use your, you new people that are doing all the fancy, work on that. We want you to be able to use your SaaS tools and your current tools. But are they poking holes into the hard outer crust of the mainframe to get to that data? And if they're able to they're able to smoothly give the telemetry, the next thing is the data. And that's what AI does. So if they're able to have, all we've got is narrow AI, but the analytics is part of that narrow AI, right? So you've got predictive, you've got what are they called? I can't remember. You got ways to explain what's there. This is what happened.
Right.
Right. And then you've got the diagnostic. And then you've got, okay, well, here's what's going to happen. Here's the future aspect of this. But that's what you're talking about. So if we're able to, build the algorithm someplace else where we can use the fancy fast chips on the open system side, but bore holes into the hard outer shell of a mainframe to get to that valuable data. I wonder if the first step is going to be these very easy machine learning algorithms, most to figure out the trends like you're talking about.
Right. And so then I thought about last night, digital twins, right? I get that information. I can actually build your history, predict your future, health patterns, buying patterns, where you'll live even based on the old data. So a lot of good stuff. Also, like to give a great shout out to Tech Field Day and Stephen Fawcett. Just really wonderful job. Really good thinkers in the room. Had some really good presentations.
Yeah.
I thought one of the presentations that I thought about it yesterday really could be a really great anti-Sam Altman statement use case. The Broadcom AI for good, right? So it really has the potential to show good human AI interaction with training that next generation. A lot of good stuff coming from them.
Yeah, I like that too, because you've got especially from the vendors we saw, you've got people that care about the mainframe, and in Broadcom's case, you've got people that came from CA, people that came from Symantec. They've been doing this a long time, and so they're using all of that, all of those programs to build something better for the future, which is great, because I think we do need to figure out how to have a pathway in to get that data that is done in an ethical, safe way, informed way, as you like to say.
Right. And I do think, the product marketing side of the house, I think this is a kind of a frontier. I think it's a lot of, no offense, it's a lot of old school marketing here.
Yeah.
They need a disruptive marketing in this space.
I think so too. They do, because how else are you going to get the younger generation to come and be interested in a mainframe? And we're talking about a hard outer shell and the crusty. We're talking about that when we think about mainframes. And you started your career on a mainframe.
I did, and hey, you're still working in your 80s here. I mean, come back to it.
That's what I thought the same thing. I trained to go work on them, but then I was like, ooh, what's this storage thing? Let me go play in Hopkinton. Yeah. So, so I think that's part of it, is like, you think of, okay, what's the hot new thing we have to learn because it's coming and I've got to know all the things about it and I've got to practice. And how do I practice? How do I get a training environment so I can practice? That's one of the first the first vendors we saw was a team that's figured out, okay, we can take a snapshot of your program running in a mainframe, and we can take that file system and enable it on an x86 file system. So you can run all the commands and learn how to use a mainframe. And that's one of their use cases. They have several. But, why isn't it somebody getting out there and trying to make this, if there's so many jobs available, and we've got so many people getting ready for retirement in the mainframe area, what there needs to be like let's get these younger generation as interested in this as they are in cloud and Kubernetes and things that are just little pieces of the equation, even in an open system. All of this is flash in the pan because it will become a necessary required component of a stack, and it will be taught in schools, and it's not going to be that sexy in another 3 years.
Right. And so it takes the mainframe out of the back room or the corner and really puts it the middle of your whole environment. So all of the good things that you could do with it, with the new functionality, it's really capabilities. I came here thinking, they probably need to modernize the mainframe. I was pretty sure in my mind, if it's still out here, they need to modernize it. I think I have moved more to really managing the capabilities, using the new cool and sexy stuff to manage the mainframes.
Well, even if we don't look at it like cool and sexy, it's this, okay, your data is all sitting here. Let's stop thinking about let's move it off the mainframe. Let's start thinking about, okay, the data is already sitting here. How does this program work? What is assembly? Or assembler, I guess that's what everybody says. But I was just in college. Don't come for me. What is COBOL?
Right.
COBOL's not, especially if you know another language, it's a pain in the butt, but it's not hard to learn. It's pretty, and that was written and developed by a woman. Let's throw that out there.
It was.
Well, no, that's the OG Tech Auntie.
Yes, she is.
So, the super, and the reason she wrote it was because assembler is freaking hard. It is. We were talking to the crew that we interviewed. Hopefully I'll go watch that interview. We were talking to them, but they're like, you have to stand with somebody and teach them what the program's actually trying to do. But when you learn it, you understand how the code, the program you're using interacts with the mainframe from an architectural point of view. But it's hard to learn. So Grace Hopper is the one that developed COBOL, and she did it because assembler is so freaking hard. You should be able to just write what you want the computer to do and have it do it. And that's what COBOL does.
Yeah.
And you didn't mind. This is my marketing tip. This would be the most amazing thing you could do.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. You already know it. Should I not say it?
Well, for the audience, go ahead.
I think you should get Megan Thee Stallion to be the spokesperson for learning COBOL. And the reason why is because COBOL statements have to end with a period. And if you forget the period, and it's lines and lines and lines and lines and lines of code, and it's on an old school editor, it's not like, is there a search function there? I can't remember. There's an old school like green screen editor. If you leave off the period, it won't compile, or all sorts of other things will happen, and it's difficult to find that one line sometimes to get back to it, right?
It is. It is.
So Megan Thee Stallion is all about, when she's saying something, it's just, I think Grace Hopper maybe had this in her. You get to the end of the line, period. So like, what if you had like a really amazing campaign to get young Black women interested in the mainframe, and you put Megan Thee Stallion in front of it? Like, how? That would be a really cool, come on, that's a creative, cool campaign.
It's very creative. And I think you're the one marketer with that vision. So,
can you imagine her doing a rap and like have a whole song? That would be kind of weird. So maybe not that far. That'd be kind of
I don't know. I had never thought of her doing Amazon either. And so now
I think she's a businesswoman.
Friday. Yeah,
She's like a
so
businesswoman, so maybe she'd be
yeah,
into it.
and she's a Texas Woman's University alumni like myself, so I'm
There
all
you go.
for anything Megan said.
I like Megan Thee Stallion too.
Well,
What?
so we're wrapping up, getting ready to go home.
I'm not going home.
Where are you going?
I'm going to DEF CON Hackathon
I'm
camp.
so jealous.
You can come stay with me. Change plate. Let's go.
I've got it.
Okay. Pardon me. Pardon me.
So again, the next Share conference is in DC. It's a really good conference if you're interested in mainframe or even interested in how open systems can help support the mainframe become more visibility. Definitely reach out to the Share conference.
And the thing about Share is it's a user group. It's the oldest user group in enterprise. They're celebrating their 70th year. So if you're interested in any of this, you should go to their website. You can join, and we recorded a podcast that's going to be part of their library of educational stuff. They've got a huge library that you can have access to as an individual member of Share. So if you're interested in this and anything that we've told you, and I do believe there is a lot of opportunity here. If you just got laid off, we know back in Austin, there was a great big layoff.
Right.
So if you just got laid off and you have any history with any of the mainframe capabilities, you should maybe check it out because there's probably a really great program for you, or there's something you could figure out yourself and fall into a job and help reinvigorate this whole industry as they start looking for ways to integrate with open systems, and as they start looking for ways to get people hired so some of the older generations can take a break and retire.
And then also check out Tech Field Day. The recordings will be available on the website.
They're probably already there.
And so we'll actually be posting articles about our experience there and what we saw. And so a lot of good stuff coming up from Tech Aunties.
That's right. So make sure you follow us on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram too if you want to see some of our cool videos. We're trying. We haven't done the TikTok dances, but we probably won't either. So I don't know. Are you into that?
I don't know. We get Megan Thee Stallion.
I would do it to Megan Thee Stallion. Maybe, probably not. I probably just feel so you could do it. Nobody wants to see that. But yeah, follow us on Instagram, follow us on YouTube, follow us on LinkedIn, Spotify, any place else you get your podcast. You can get our podcast from there. And yeah, it was great to be here. And hopefully we'll talk more about mainframe stuff, I think, right?
Most definitely. And so, yeah, we even got some upcoming guests, maybe.
Yeah.
And so definitely stay tuned.
See y'all later. Peace out.